This is True Crime Unveiled. The cases you thought you knew, re-examined, retold, and never forgotten.
Tonight's case may disturb you. Listener discretion is advised. And if you find value in these stories, show your support by subscribing.
On a calm morning, December 1st, 1948, the idyllic serenity of Somerton Beach, just south of Adelaide, Australia, was about to be shattered.
A seemingly ordinary day, soon to become anything but.
A lone figure was discovered lying against the seawall, appearing asleep, a half-smoked cigarette resting on his collar. There were no signs of struggle, no immediate indications of foul play, just a man seemingly at rest.
Almost peaceful, in a way.
But this serene tableau held a sinister secret. As investigators delved deeper, they uncovered a web of unanswered questions, coded messages, and unidentified poisons, turning a seemingly simple case into one of the most enduring mysteries of the 20th century.
A mystery that continues to baffle, even today.
The man, well-dressed and seemingly in good health, carried no identification. His pockets contained a used bus ticket to Somerton Beach, an unused second-class rail ticket, a pack of juicy fruit chewing gum, a box of Bryant & May matches, and an Army Club cigarette pack containing cigarettes of a different brand.
Odd assortment of items.
Indeed. And the strangeness was only just beginning. The tags on his clothing had been meticulously removed, leaving investigators with no clues to his identity or origin. Even his fingerprints yielded no matches in any database, adding another layer to the enigma.
A ghost, in a sense.
An apt description. The autopsy revealed further anomalies. Although the man appeared physically fit, his cause of death remained undetermined. The pathologist speculated that poisoning was the most likely cause, but no trace of known poisons could be found.
So, an unknown poison?
Precisely. Adding another layer of complexity to the case. The mystery deepened further months later, when a small piece of rolled-up paper was discovered, tucked inside a hidden fob pocket in the man's trousers.
Hidden, you say?
Yes, sewn shut. The paper bore a single cryptic phrase, Tamám Shud, meaning finished or ended in Persian. These words were later identified as torn from the final page of a rare copy of Asterisk, the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, a collection of Persian poems.
A literary clue in a real-life mystery.
Indeed. And this was no ordinary copy. It was later discovered that this specific edition of Asterisk, the Rubaiyat, was extremely rare, believed to have been brought into Australia during World War II.
A wartime souvenir?
Possibly. And on the back cover of the book, faint indentations revealed a series of seemingly random letters, another coded message waiting to be deciphered.
So, two coded messages, a dead man with no identity, and a rare book.
Exactly. The Somerton Man case was quickly becoming a tapestry of baffling clues, a puzzle with missing pieces that seemed impossible to find. This seemingly simple death on a quiet beach had transformed into an intricate web of intrigue and unanswered questions, a mystery that would captivate and confound investigators for decades to come. Less than person one greater than the Somerton Beach community in 1948 was a world away from the grim discovery that would soon etch its name into the annals of unsolved mysteries. It was a place of simple pleasures, where the rhythm of life was dictated by the tides and the sun.
A quiet seaside town.
Imagine a time before the relentless buzz of modern life. A time when the sound of crashing waves was the dominant soundtrack. Somerton Beach was just that. A tranquil escape from the city's hustle, where families strolled along the esplanade and children built sandcastles on the shore.
A snapshot of a bygone era.
The air, thick with the scent of salt and sunscreen, carried the distant cries of seagulls and the gentle murmur of conversations. The sand, still warm from the afternoon sun, yielded softly underfoot. It was a place where time seemed to slow down, a place where worries could be washed away by the gentle lapping of the waves.
Sounds idyllic.
The local businesses thrived on this relaxed atmosphere. The cafes bustled with patrons enjoying ice cream and iced coffee, their laughter mingling with the clinking of cutlery. The newsagent displayed the day's papers, their headlines proclaiming the mundane happenings of a world seemingly untouched by darkness.
The calm before the storm.
Residents knew each other, exchanging friendly greetings as they passed on the street. Children played unsupervised, their carefree shouts echoing through the quiet streets. It was a tight-knit community, where doors were often left unlocked and neighbors looked out for one another.
A sense of community.
This sense of peace and security made the discovery of the unknown man on Somerton Beach all the more shocking. It was a stark contrast, a jarring intrusion of the unknown into this idyllic setting. The image of the well-dressed man lying lifeless on the sand, his identity a mystery, shattered the tranquil facade of Somerton Beach, leaving an enduring scar on the community's collective memory.
A real mystery.
While we don't know the specifics of the Somerton man's life, we can paint a picture of the world he found himself in those final moments. A world seemingly at odds with the enigma surrounding his death.
A puzzle.
The tranquility of Somerton Beach in 1948 serves as a poignant backdrop to the unsettling mystery. It amplifies the strangeness of the unknown man's presence, a man who seemed to have materialized out of thin air, only to depart just as enigmatically.
A ghost.
The contrast between the peaceful setting and the grim discovery raises so many questions. Was he a visitor, drawn to the quiet beauty of the beach? Or was he a local, someone whose absence would leave a noticeable gap in the community's fabric?
We just don't know.
The answers, like the man's identity, remain elusive, lost somewhere in the sands of time. But by immersing ourselves in the details of the time and place, we hope to uncover some clues, some fragments of truth that might shed light on this enduring enigma.
Piece by piece.
The rhythmic lull of the waves against the Somerton Beach almost disguised the unnatural stillness of the man lying there.
It's almost a cruel juxtaposition, isn't it?
Precisely. The scene was picturesque, serene even, yet this figure disrupted the harmony, a stark contrast to the lively atmosphere of a summer evening.
Just wrong.
He was impeccably dressed, as if ready for a day at the races or a formal event, but his posture suggested something was terribly amiss.
So not a typical beachgoer.
Not at all. There was no sign of struggle, no visible injuries, just an unsettling quietude that set him apart from the families and couples enjoying the last rays of the setting sun.
Like he just belonged there.
In a way, yes, a chilling sense of belonging. The tide continued its ebb and flow, oblivious to the mystery unfolding on the sand.
Nature's indifference.
Children played nearby, their laughter echoing against the gentle roar of the ocean, utterly unaware of the grim tableau just a few yards away. This contrast, the normalcy of life against the backdrop of death, was perhaps the most disturbing element of the scene.
A silent alarm, unnoticed by most.
The image of a discarded, unlit cigarette resting near the man's outstretched hand further intensified the enigma. Had he been interrupted? Was he about to light it when something happened?
Another piece of the puzzle.
It was a small detail, seemingly insignificant, but in cases like this, the smallest details often hold the most crucial clues. The cigarette became a focal point, a silent witness to the final moments of the Somerton man.
A silent witness indeed.
As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting long, dramatic shadows across the beach, the true gravity of the situation began to sink in for those who first encountered the body. The peaceful image of the beach was now irrevocably tainted, forever etched in their memories as the place where the unknown man met his mysterious end.
A paradise lost.
The scene was processed, photographed, documented, but the air of tranquility was replaced by an eerie silence, broken only by the whispers of investigators and the rhythmic crashing of the waves. The ordinary had become extraordinary, the mundane transformed into a breeding ground for unanswered questions.
The calm before the storm.
The Somerton Man case, as we've established, is shrouded in an unsettling ambiguity. It begins not with a bang, but a whisper of the unusual. A lone figure found slumped against the seawall on Somerton Beach, Adelaide, on the morning of December 1st, 1948.
A seemingly peaceful scene, disrupted.
Precisely. The initial assessment pointed towards a simple, perhaps tragic, case of a heart attack or stroke. The man was well dressed, in a suit and tie, appearing to be in his mid-40s, with an athletic build. There were no signs of struggle, no obvious external injuries, but as investigators delved deeper, the veneer of normalcy began to peel away, revealing layers of inexplicable details.
So what was the first hint that this wasn't a routine death?
The lack of identification. Absolutely nothing on his person offered a clue to his identity. His pockets contained an unused train ticket to Henley Beach, a bus ticket, a pack of juicy fruit gum, some matches, and 2 combs. Standard items, yet none offered a name, an address, or any personal connection.
No wallet? That's strange.
Not even a trace. The labels had been meticulously removed from his clothing, adding another layer of deliberate anonymity. The absence of a wallet, combined with the missing labels, immediately transformed a routine investigation into something far more perplexing. This wasn't just a man who had died. It was a man who had seemingly erased himself.
A ghost in a suit.
A fitting description. The pathologist's report further deepened the enigma. Although the initial assumption was natural causes, the autopsy revealed several peculiarities. The man's pupils were smaller than usual, and his spleen was abnormally large, 3 times its normal size. His stomach contained the remnants of his last meal, a pasty, but there was no trace of the poison that some suspected. The coroner, baffled, concluded the cause of death was likely poisoning, but couldn't identify the substance used.
So poison but untraceable?
Exactly. This wasn't a common, easily detectable poison. It was something more sophisticated, something that left no obvious trace, further reinforcing the idea of a deliberate, carefully planned act. The pathologist even consulted experts in toxicology, but the substance remained elusive, adding yet another layer of mystery to the Somerton man's demise.
A professional job, perhaps?
The thought certainly crossed the investigators' minds. The meticulous removal of labels, the unidentified poison, the lack of any personal effects, all pointed towards a deliberate act of concealment. The Somerton man wasn't just a victim. He was a carefully constructed enigma, a puzzle with deliberately missing pieces. Less than person one greater than the discovery of the Somerton man's body sent ripples of unease through Adelaide. It wasn't just the strangeness of his demise, the unidentified pills, or the carefully removed clothing tags. It was the chilling implication that a man could die so anonymously, so meticulously stripped of his identity, in a public place.
Almost like a ghost story, right?
Exactly. The initial police investigation, while thorough, yielded frustratingly little. Fingerprints were taken, dental records compared, and missing person reports across the country scrutinized. Yet, the Somerton man remained a cipher, a nameless enigma on a slab in the city morgue. The lack of identification fueled public speculation. Theories, both plausible and outlandish, began to circulate in hushed tones.
I can only imagine the rumors.
Was he a spy? A victim of a clandestine love affair gone wrong? A man fleeing a dangerous past? These questions hung heavy in the air, adding to the growing sense of mystery and fear.
So, no leads at all?
Very few. The police released a photograph of the deceased man, hoping someone would recognize him. His image, captured in death, stared out from newspapers across the nation, a silent plea for identification. Days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months. But the Somerton man's identity remained elusive. The public's initial curiosity began to morph into something darker, a chilling realization that perhaps some secrets are best left buried.
The unknown is always frightening.
Precisely. The meticulous nature of the scene, the apparent lack of struggle, and the absence of any clear motive all pointed towards a carefully planned and executed event. This level of precision, combined with the complete erasure of the man's identity, only amplified the public's growing unease.
It suggests a professional, perhaps?
That's one theory investigators considered. The thought that someone capable of such a clandestine act was walking free amongst them was a truly unsettling prospect for the residents of Adelaide. The Somerton man's case became a constant reminder of the hidden dangers lurking beneath the surface of their seemingly peaceful city.
A shadow over the community.
Exactly. Every stranger now held a potential threat. The case began to seep into the collective consciousness, a constant reminder of the fragility of life and the chilling ease with which someone could vanish without a trace. The city held its breath, waiting for answers that seemed further away than ever.
A real-life mystery playing out in their streets.
And one that seemed determined to remain unsolved. The Somerton man had become more than just a body on a beach. He had become a symbol of the unknown, a chilling embodiment of unanswered questions that would haunt the city for decades to come. Less than person one greater than the Somerton man carried no identification, no wallet, no personal effects that could readily reveal who he was. He was found neatly dressed, almost impeccably so, in a suit and tie, his shoes polished. This suggested a man accustomed to a certain standard of living, perhaps even a meticulous nature.
So someone who cared about appearances.
Exactly. Yet the lack of any identifying documents is perplexing. It's as if he deliberately erased his presence, his identity, before arriving in Adelaide. Was this a pre-planned act? A sign of someone running from something or someone?
A ghost, almost.
In a way, yes. The meticulously groomed appearance clashes sharply with the mystery surrounding his death. It presents us with a paradox. A man who cared about his outward presentation, yet simultaneously wanted to remain anonymous. This contradiction fuels speculation about his psychological state.
A controlled chaos, maybe?
Perhaps. Some theorists believe the Somerton Man may have been involved in espionage, given the Cold War tensions at the time, and the coded message found in his pocket. This theory offers a potential explanation for his desire to remain unidentified.
A spy. Or someone adjacent to that world.
It's a compelling narrative. The coded message, the lack of identification, the seemingly purposeful anonymity, they all hint at a clandestine life, a world of secrets and hidden identities. But even within this theory, contradictions remain. Why choose such a public place to die if secrecy was paramount?
It doesn't quite fit.
No, it doesn't. Another theory proposes that he was a heartbroken man, driven to despair and suicide. Perhaps the meticulous grooming was a final act of self-respect before taking his own life. The erased identity, a way to protect his family from the shame of his actions.
A tragic end.
Indeed. But again, questions linger. If suicide was his intention, why travel so far from home? Why choose Adelaide? And what of the coded message? It's a piece of the puzzle that doesn't seem to fit with the suicide theory.
A lot of unanswered questions.
Precisely. Each theory offers a glimpse into the Somerton Man's possible psyche, but each also presents contradictions that deepen the mystery. Was he a spy, a heartbroken lover, or something else entirely? His outward identity, so carefully constructed, ultimately reveals very little about the man beneath the surface.
A true enigma.
Picking up the threads of the Somerton Man case in the late 1940s, investigators faced a wall of silence. The coded message found tucked in his fob pocket remained unbroken, and his identity continued to elude them. Despite circulating his fingerprints and photograph internationally, no conclusive matches emerged, leaving authorities baffled and frustrated.
A truly international mystery.
Exactly. The investigation continued to chase down every lead, however insignificant it seemed. One intriguing, yet ultimately fruitless, avenue explored was the connection to a woman named Jessica Thompson. She lived near where the body was found and claimed to have no knowledge of the man. However, she seemed unusually nervous when questioned, piquing the investigators' interest.
Did they ever establish a concrete link?
No. Despite intense scrutiny, no direct link between Thompson and the Somerton Man could be established. Adding another layer of complexity, a slip of paper with the words Tamám Shud, meaning finished or ended in Persian, was discovered months later, ripped from a rare copy of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. This seemingly insignificant piece of paper became another focal point of the investigation.
So yet another cryptic clue.
Yes. Authorities launched a public appeal to locate the specific copy of the book from which the scrap was torn. Eventually, a man came forward claiming to have found the book discarded in his car shortly before the body was discovered. Inside the back cover, faint indentations resembling a coded message were discovered, further deepening the mystery. This new code, distinct from the one found in the man's fob pocket, ignited a renewed sense of hope that it might finally unlock the case.
Did they manage to decipher it?
Unfortunately, despite concerted efforts by expert cryptographers, both codes remained stubbornly unbreakable. Each attempt at decryption resulted in nonsensical strings of letters and numbers, leading investigators down blind alleys. The public fascination with the case continued to grow, fueled by the regular updates and the seemingly impenetrable wall of secrecy surrounding the Somerton Man's identity.
The mystery only deepened.
It did. The lack of progress, coupled with the bizarre circumstances of the case, began to fuel speculation of espionage or even an elaborate assassination. These theories, while captivating, lacked concrete evidence and served mostly to further muddy the waters. The investigation team was left with a mountain of circumstantial evidence, a collection of cryptic clues, and a gnawing sense of frustration.
It sounds like they were chasing shadows.
In a sense, they were. Despite the wealth of information gathered, the core questions remained unanswered. Who was this man? What were the circumstances surrounding his death? And what was the meaning of the cryptic messages found on his person? The Somerton Man case, far from being resolved, was transforming into a perplexing enigma that seemed destined to remain unsolved.
A real-life dead end.
Yes. Several people claiming to be relatives or acquaintances of the deceased came forward, offering tantalizing glimpses of a potential breakthrough. However, each lead, after thorough investigation, proved to be a false alarm. The Somerton man's identity and the circumstances surrounding his death continued to defy explanation.
So back to square one.
Exactly. Each failed attempt to identify the man, and each unsuccessful attempt to crack the codes only served to deepen the mystery. The Somerton Man case was rapidly becoming a cold case, a testament to the limitations of investigative techniques and the enduring power of secrets. Less than, person one greater than. Less than, person one greater than. The enduring mystery surrounding the Somerton man's identity cast a long shadow over those involved in the investigation, particularly the detectives who dedicated years to unraveling the truth.
It must have been incredibly frustrating.
Absolutely. Imagine poring over every detail, chasing every lead, only to hit dead end after dead end. The weight of the unknown, the inability to provide answers, it takes a toll. And this wasn't just another case file. This was a human being, reduced to a cipher.
And his family, if he had one, never knowing his fate.
Precisely. The thought that somewhere, someone might be searching for this man, unaware of his tragic end, adds another layer of sadness to the story. The lack of closure, the perpetual ambiguity, it creates a ripple effect of unease, not only for the investigators but for the wider community as well.
It's like a wound that never fully heals.
A very apt description. The Somerton Man case became ingrained in the local consciousness, a constant reminder of the fragility of life and the mysteries that can surround us. Even now, decades later, the case continues to fascinate and haunt, a testament to the enduring power of the unknown.
Do you think the ongoing speculation contributes to that unease?
Undoubtedly. The various theories, the speculation about espionage or a secret love affair, they all add to the intrigue but also to the sense of disquiet. Each new piece of information, each potential breakthrough, reopens the wound, reminding everyone of the unanswered questions that still linger.
It's almost like the mystery itself becomes a kind of trauma.
Yes, a collective trauma, shared by the community, and even by those who encounter the story years later. The Somerton man's anonymity, his unexplained death, it represents a fundamental human fear. The fear of disappearing without a trace, of becoming a ghost in our own history.
That's a chilling thought.
Indeed. And it's this chilling aspect, this persistent sense of unease, that makes the Somerton Man case so compelling, so enduring, and so deeply unsettling. It forces us to confront the limits of our understanding and the enduring power of mystery.
It's a reminder that some stories may never have a neat ending.
And that some mysteries, like the Somerton Man, may continue to haunt us for generations to come, a constant reminder of the unknown that lies just beneath the surface of our everyday lives. The families of the detectives involved also carried the burden of this case, hearing about it at the dinner table, seeing the frustration in their loved ones' eyes. The unsolved mystery seeped into their lives as well.
It's easy to forget the human cost of these investigations.
Exactly. It wasn't just professional. It became personal for so many. The emotional toll on the community, the ripple effect of unease, and the impact on those closest to the investigation are all important aspects of this story, often overlooked in the pursuit of answers. Less than / person one greater than the Somerton Man case, for decades, remained an enigma, a cipher wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma. But the relentless pursuit of truth, even across generations, can yield astonishing results. In 2022, Professor Derek Abbott, driven by an insatiable curiosity and armed with advanced DNA technology, made a significant breakthrough. He'd managed to extract DNA from the Somerton man's hair, embedded in the plastered death mask, a macabre artifact of the era.
A death mask? How was that even preserved?
It's a plaster cast made of a person's face after their death, common practice in the past. Thankfully, it provided the crucial DNA sample in this case. Abbott painstakingly constructed a complex family tree, tracing potential relatives through genetic genealogy databases. This painstaking process led to the identification of the Somerton Man as Carl Charles Webb, an electrical engineer and instrument maker from Melbourne.
Incredible. Decades of mystery finally unraveling.
Indeed. It was a triumph of forensic genealogy, a demonstration of the power of this new investigative tool. But identifying Charles Webb was just the beginning. It opened up a new chapter in the investigation, a quest to understand the life of this man, and the circumstances that led to his mysterious death on Somerton Beach.
So who was this Carl Webb?
Records revealed that Carl Webb had been married, but was estranged from his wife. He had no known criminal record, no immediate family connections that could easily explain his presence in Adelaide, and no obvious reason to be carrying a coded message in his pocket.
It's like solving one puzzle only to find another.
Precisely. The identification provided answers, but also generated a whole new set of questions. Why was he in Adelaide? What was the meaning of the Tamám Shud slip? Was his death a suicide, a misadventure, or something more sinister?
Did they ever find out about the Justin connection?
Not conclusively. Investigators explored possible links between Carl Webb and a woman named Jessica Justin Harkness, whose phone number was found written on the back of the Rubaiyat, from which the Tamám Shud slip was torn. While some circumstantial evidence suggested a connection, a definitive link remained elusive. It became another thread in the intricate tapestry of the Somerton Man case.
So even with a name, the mystery persists.
Exactly. While identifying Carl Webb was a major breakthrough, it didn't fully close the case. The circumstances surrounding his death remain largely unexplained. We now have a name and a face to the mystery. But the enigma of his final moments on Somerton Beach persists. Did he die by suicide? A tragic end to a troubled life? Or was there something more sinister at play? A hidden motive that remained shrouded in secrecy? These questions continue to haunt investigators and armchair detectives alike, keeping the Somerton Man case alive in the annals of unsolved mysteries.
A fascinating and frustrating case, even after all this time.
The Somerton Man's coded message, the torn piece of the Rubaiyat, the unknown poison, the lack of identification. All these pieces form a disquieting puzzle that continues to baffle.
A puzzle with no picture on the box.
Precisely. We're left with an unsettling feeling, a sense of incompleteness, of a story unfinished. The meticulous planning, the deliberate obfuscation of his identity, speaks to a mind capable of intricate deception.
A chilling thought.
Indeed. It suggests a darkness lurking beneath the surface of everyday life, a hidden world of secrets, and perhaps sinister intentions. The Somerton Man may have been a spy, a lover, a victim, or something else entirely. But whoever he was, he represents a stark reminder of the unknown forces that shape our world, often unseen and undetected.
Like a ghost in the machine.
Consider the implications. This man, so carefully erased, existed among us. He walked the same streets, breathed the same air. He was a phantom, a cipher, leaving only the faintest of traces. What other secrets are hidden in plain sight, waiting to be discovered? What other lives are lived in the shadows, leaving us with more questions than answers?
It's a sobering thought.
The case of the Somerton Man serves as a haunting reminder of the mysteries that remain unsolved, the lives lived in secret, and the potential for darkness to exist even in the most ordinary of settings. The beach, the train station, the park. These seemingly mundane locations became the backdrop for a drama we still struggle to comprehend.
A drama with no final act.
And perhaps that's the most unsettling aspect of all, the lack of closure. The open-ended narrative allows the unsettling questions to linger, the shadows to deepen. Was the Somerton Man a victim of a cruel plot? A casualty of unseen forces? Or did he orchestrate his own disappearance, leaving a trail of breadcrumbs for us to follow? A puzzle deliberately designed to remain unsolved.
A puzzle we may never solve.
The Somerton Man's story, shrouded in enigma, forces us to confront the uncomfortable truth that sometimes the greatest mysteries are not hidden in remote corners of the world, but rather in the everyday lives that surround us, concealed in plain sight, waiting to be unearthed. And as we conclude this exploration into the life and death of the Somerton Man, we're left with one chilling question. What other secrets lie dormant, waiting to be awakened? Less than / person one greater than. Less than person one greater than. Thank you for walking with us through the shadows. The story doesn't end here. It lingers, echoing through time, reminding us that the darkest truths often hide in plain sight. Until next time, stay curious and stay vigilant.
Stay safe and keep questioning everything.